Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while, but I won't go into too much rambling about why I haven't been on the channel. Just been busy, but I'm here today, and one of the main reasons why I decided to do a video, and which I'll try to continue to do loads of video to get the momentum going again, is because the verdict came back for the stepson of Andrea Lowe Garwood, right? I'm looking over this side because I'm looking at my tablet just to read the story and so on and so forth. So obviously, many Jamaicans would remember the church shooting where Andrea Lowe Garwood was murdered, and it was speculated that her stepson hired hitmen to murder Andrea. Now, a lot of us saw the video, the gruesome video. It was terrifying to think that someone is in church worshiping and something like this happened. It's just like, I mean, no respect for even the house of the Lord. This is where Jamaica has gone. This is where the world has gone, really, where nobody even have that level of respect. So everybody remember that. Most people would remember back in 2021 that this situation traumatized a lot of us. But one of the main things about the story is, as much as it was traumatizing, what was more scary was the fact that the person who is alleged to have hired the men to snuff out Andrea, this person is her stepson. Now, obviously, this is not something new that step-parents and stepchildren don't tend to have the best relationships. You seldom find a stepmother or a stepchild or a stepfather having great relationships with their stepchild. This is just a fact. If it does happen, it's just small amount of people that can actually, you know, parent stepchildren without any hiccups, especially if the mother of the stepchild is in the picture, or the father. You tend to find issues. Now just to give a little rundown, if you guys remember the story, Andrea was married to her stepson's father, who passed away, and of course the father left inheritance for Andrea and his children, but of course the children didn't feel, or his son probably didn't feel that, well, this is what was going around, that the son didn't feel that it was enough because it's his father. Now, what I'm saying, and this is just me speaking as a parent, and I think only parents can understand this. Not because you are a parent of a child means that this child is going to be the shining glory, or this child is going to be everything that you expect this child to be. And also, I know from experience that a lot of times children can become so ungrateful, or they can become so disrespectful. Well, not that I know from experience, because my eldest child is 6. But I mean that I've seen people experience this with their child, where a child comes and become a teenager or an adult and they start to disrespect their parents. And I know for a fact, I've always said this to my mom, I said this to a lot of people, and they don't really believe me. I say, if my child disrespects me in any way, shape or form, I can cut that child off. It takes nothing for me to cut my child off. Not because it's my child, I'm going to let that child disrespect me and stay in my life. I believe that once you start to disrespect, I can cut you off. So what I'm saying, I said all that to say this. If it's a case where the father left more for his wife, Andrea, and the son didn't feel like it was enough, I'm just seeing where there may have been issues there with the relationship. You understand? And if I work hard for my money and my child doesn't respect me, I'm not saying that's the case, but if that was this, you know, putting different points out there, that if I work so hard and my child disrespects me, I'm not gonna leave my legacy, everything to that child. I'll leave something, but I am cool like that, where I'm not gonna let a child disrespect me and then I give the child everything. Now, bearing in mind, I'm gonna look at the other side. You have some parents though, or some men who put the woman above their children. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you should love your spouse any less, because a husband and wife is a husband and wife. That's something that that's a union that the Lord puts together, which means that's a powerful union, and you shouldn't let a child come between your marriage. Never. However, you have parents that literally allows the woman to dictate, meaning man will allow the woman to dictate to them not to take care of their child. Now, I'm hoping this is not the case, because when it came out, when this situation happened, people were speculating that so many stuff. But I'm just saying, I'm hoping that this wasn't the case where Andrea was concerned. But you have to look at different points, because it happens where men put the woman, because he's having issues with the woman and the woman probably don't like the child, he allows the woman to dictate how he is with his child. And I always say that is wrong. But saying that everything was great and Andrea was a good stepmother, but it's just this child that is it's just this young man that is the problem. Just saying that. I wouldn't blame a parent for not leaving. I'm not gonna allow a child to treat me a certain way and then he gets everything from me, or she gets everything from me. I'm gonna give you something, but not the world. You're not gonna get the world from me. So I'm just saying, these are some of the factors that we can look at. Now, we already know from 2021, but just to refresh you, obviously, it is alleged that her stepson hired these two men to take her out because he believed that she had the key to everything. Put it that way. It's kind of like that, the key to everything. Now, what we also learned back then as well is that it was like Andrea knew that the son wasn't fond of her, based on what we were hearing in 2021, that she knew the son wasn't fond of her. Now, oftentimes I've seen this, because at the end of the day, we can talk and talk and talk, but this is something that you see repeat itself so many times and people don't learn. People know how our culture is, the Jamaican culture, and when it comes on to money will make people do the worst things. Money will make people kill their mother, father, sister, brother. I've seen people kill people over land so many times. I've seen people being abroad, sending their money, their own money they're sending. They're sending their money back home. And guess what? When they're ready to go home, their relative feel like, no, you shouldn't be coming back for this. And they snuff them out. Now, if it's true that Andrea knew that this son was bitter towards her, I'm just saying, at the end of the day, whether or not that is my husband, I will not let somebody take my life for money. If I am a stepmother, I'm giving them that. I'm not saying I'm going to give them everything. But just the fact that it's their father, and if they feel like they are entitled to it, you understand? Or so on, and they feel like they want to come kill me for that money, I would rather part with it than part with my life. And this is what happens a lot of time, because remember, it doesn't matter what nobody want to tell that son, right? In his head, he's entitled to what his dad left. And you can't really tell these entitled children, because some of them feel like, my father, you're just the wife. And they don't see that a wife has way more power than a child. Because if you're in hospital and you're on a life machine, it's your wife or your spouse, let's just say spouse, that can take you off of that life machine. Or your next of kin, which is gonna, your husband or your wife is automatically your next of kin. And if you're not married, then obviously who you nominated to be your next of kin. So people don't understand the power of marriage. Marriage is very powerful. and your spouse has more power. That is why, as a spouse, and if you know the man have his children, you should do right by them. If you're a good person, you should do right by them. But even so, it shouldn't even be the woman's responsibility to do right by the son. It should be the father's responsibility to make sure everything is fairly distributed. But then again, if it's not distributed equally, then it goes to show, or it's kind of pointing to the fact that maybe there's some conflict with the relationship of the son and his father. Maybe, you never know. And this is where it should have come down to the woman. But in the society that we are living in now, I personally would part with the amount, or with some of that the son is claiming that he deserves, because nothing costs your life. And this is why I don't even believe in sending money to Jamaica for nobody to build a house. For me, I know I have a great family, I have a wonderful family, but still, you never know what's inside a man's heart. So if I'm going to send money, I'd say build it for yourself, but I'm not going to send money for nobody to build a house for me. If I want to buy my house, I go and buy my house myself. Because man's heart are so desperately wicked. In this time, day and age, people are just doing evil things for money, because money is the root, the love, not the money itself, but the love of money is the root of all evil. So, long and short of it, we know the society we live in, but look at this. Of course, Andrea's, obviously, based on what we've heard in 2021, she knew there was some conflict. And rightfully so, some people just feel like they don't want to give in. But it's not worth your life. Because this is what is happening in Jamaica now. If you realize that people are they're conflicting with you, say you're abroad and you realize a family member is telling you to sign over this or whatever, and I'm not saying that you're rolling over. I'm not saying that you're rolling over for people to do what they want, but some things are not worth fighting for. Some things you need to leave where it is, because people are evil, and you just have to allow God to fight these battles. Because as Jamaicans, if we stand up sometime and say, okay, this is what it is, you understand? This is what that is. I just feel like there's some battles that you have to say, live today, fight another day. Some things, some battles are not worth fighting. Because clearly Garwood's son, which is obviously Andrea's husband, clearly you really have to hate somebody this much to go and hire somebody to take her out. You understand? And this is also something that I want to point out, that in Jamaica today, there's a lot of contract killings going on. People are no longer doing the job themselves. They're actually contracting people to do the murder. And I just know that it's not worth your life. It's not worth your life to allow these things, the vanity. If you see that it's causing a conflict, try to, have a common ground there. Try to have a common ground if you see that it's causing a conflict. Worse when it's with stepchildren. Because you cannot tell a stepchild that they're not entitled to what their parents left. Because to them, to him, it is his father's, and she is the wife, and she came after and touch. And my final point is, obviously, 4 days ago, the verdict came back where the young man was found not guilty. And some of the reasons, obviously, the country is outraged. Obviously, you're going to be outraged, because if you're saying there's evidence that, if you're saying that it's pointing to him being the one who has hired these two men, and then he's now walking free, you're looking at it like, wow. However, the law doesn't work like that. It's not what we think, it's not what we feel, it's what you can prove in court. And obviously, that the prosecution's team wasn't able to present the most compelling case to prove that, obviously, to prove that he was the one who hired the hitmen. Whether or not that is the case, it's about what you can prove in court. And it's just the law. So I mean, I can understand how the son is feeling. That's Andrea's son, and he's heartbroken and everything. But it's just how the law is, and sad based on the fact that somebody, if that's the case, based on the fact that somebody can, you know, organize something like that, it must take great hate. And to actually not even wait until the lady finished serving, having our service at church. You do it. You couldn't wait. You do it in the house of the Lord. The disrespect there and the evil intention and nature. And this is what is happening so many times, because nowadays people are contracting people to kill people. Most of the times it's over money, over land, over stupid things, things that don't even have value compared to a person's life. But this is the world that we live in today, and that is why I said it's not worth some fight. You need to not fight. Some battles you need to not fight. You should just walk away. And some battles, you need to choose the battles wisely. That's my point. We have to learn to choose our battles wisely, because we're living in a crazy world with people that has no heart or thought or respect for human life. And those are my thoughts today. So guys, please do share your comments in the comment section, you know, your thoughts on all the points that I've raised about this case, Andrea Lowe Garwood. You know, what you think about the overall situation, the verdict where the stepson was was found not guilty. You know, everything really about the case and actually about society. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet subscribed, because I'll be doing more of these videos coming on a weekly basis. Until next time, Godspeed. Big ups. Bye guys. Bye.